has happened to you since you were prosecuted?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on again. And so my intent for taking those photos was just as memorabilia to remember my time in service. You know, I was extremely, and I still am extremely proud of what I did in the Navy. And a misguided attempt to be able to have something to remember it by. When I was 21, I took some pictures of where I worked so that I could remember it later on.
So, and you got worried because someone found out you deleted them. But you would say, okay, so I deleted those. I had no ill intentions. Yet Hillary Clinton, you know, smashes BlackBerries with a hammer and bleach bits servers, and she gets nothing. Why do you think you got a year in prison in probation and she got nothing?
Well, yeah, obviously there's two different sets of laws in this country for the politically elite and for, you know, those lower level individuals, Americans like myself. And I think that's very upsetting on a basic level for most people. It should be, at least, that a different standard of justice is applied. And I think my case draws a very clear example of that, because there was never a requirement for intent to cause national harm to prosecute me for that same crime that they should have prosecuted her. I simply mishandled classified information, and, you know, I accepted responsibility. I didn't go to trial. I pled guilty. I said, look, I made a mistake when I was a young kid, and my family still continues at 31 years old now to be punished for that mistake. Whereas Hillary Clinton not only wasn't punished, but was allowed to run for the highest office in this country, and that should be very upsetting to the American people. With
still no accountability as well. So you served a year for taking those pictures. You asked for you're out now, but you're asking for a pardon so that you can move on with your life. This is what the Department of Justice is saying about the process of a pardon. They're saying extremely lengthy, often taking a year or more, both because of the number of matters pending before this office and the need to carefully examine and investigate applications and supporting documentation. Now, the previous Justice Department had rejected your request for a presidential pardon. Have you talked to the White House about this? Have you made a direct appeal? What do you know about the status of this current pardon request?
Well, I mean, I've submitted some more questions or answers to questions that they had as per this new request. I've provided more documentation, and hopefully it'll get processed. Hopefully it'll reach the president, because honestly, I don't believe the first one did. I think they, you know, short-cycled him and didn't allow him a chance to review it. Obviously, President Trump firmly believes that, you know, I was over-punished. I mean, he mentioned it numerous times before and after being elected, and I think that President Trump, you know, I think he knows that in my heart, I understand I made a mistake, and I accept the responsibility for it. And I hope he'll give my family and I a chance to basically have a future, because it's not, pardoning me isn't going to alleviate the punishment. I mean, I think I've been pretty severely punished. I've lost all of my life savings. You know, vehicles were repossessed while I was in prison. My family went through some pretty dire times and still is. And I spent a year in prison. I think what it'll do is it'll give me a chance to start again, and to my family and I to basically crawl out of this hole that we're in and have a future.
Very well said, sir. Christian Saucier, I want to thank you for your service in the Navy, for taking accountability, and all you're asking for is a system that holds other people to the same account that you do. And this morning you've got an opportunity to share that with our audience, and we're going to continue to follow up on the process of your pardon request. Frankly, personally, man, I sure hope it happens. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.